I'm just cleaning up some line work that I was working on. We get in the chat. Bethany. Hi, Bethany. Can you hear me okay? Not sure if my volume's on and my microphone on. No. Let's see. How about now? Can you hear me now? Might have to plug in my microphone. Actually. You can hear me now. Okay. Maybe what I'll do is I'll plug in my headset. All right, how's that? Does that make a difference? I plugged in my earbuds. Usually when I wear my earbuds, people can hear me swallowing. I like to drink a lot of coffee, and they make fun of my gulps. Does it sound better with the earbuds? How are you doing tonight, Bethany? Hope all is well in your part of the world. Layer 8. My paintbrush. What do you get for a tablet? You get an iPad or? It's fun to play around with toys. I know that. I had done all this line work last week. I just want to clean up some spots that I'm not happy with. I have a cheap Wacom one, really hard to use. You'll get used to it. It doesn't take long. It might take a day or two. When did you get it? Just recently? Okay, let me see. What do I want to do with this? Switch to black. think this is going to look a lot cleaner. I'm just going to go for a chrome look. And then I decided against it. Don't like that. My brush is too big. I want it cleaner than that. There we go. For my daughter, after buying Clip Studio, wanted to work with it. You will get the hang of it. Are you fighting with the tablet or are you fighting with the program? I'm using Photoshop. I've always used Photoshop. I've never used Clip Studio for anything. I need a bigger brush. Hear me make all these weird sound effects. My students laugh at me when I'm teaching them how to draw. I tell them, if you're not making the rocket ship noises when you're doing it, you're doing it wrong. Fighting with the tablet. You're just wobbly all over. Okay, I don't think you're doing. Are you doing warm-ups when you're doing it? You should do warm-ups. You should be practicing your strokes. Practice your circles. Circles are really important. I seem to be on the blink. Why am I on the blink? The heck is that? I don't want that. I want that. Oh, I was on the wrong brush. Right? Oh, it's the right brush. Why is it doing that now? Let's close that. Let's open it again. Bought the software over Christmas, played with it a couple of times, got frustrated with the tablet and stylus. What is your issue with the tablet and stylus? Did you take the time and go into the setup of the tablet itself, the Wacom settings, and play with the sensitivity and your... Do you have buttons on your stylus? Clickable buttons for right click and left click? You can take the time and go in and set some of that stuff up as well. What is wrong with my mouse? That's crazy. My flow is down. Okay. What going on? Somebody wants it. I have 4 top buttons. I have it sort of customized via some YouTube videos. What have you got? Have you got like a bamboo splash or something? What have you got for a Wacom? $5,000. What the? That's what my issue was. Why was it up that high? Oh, man. That was a glitch. How the heck did it get up that high? I don't know. It doesn't say. I imagine there's probably just a funny setting that you don't have set up properly. Once you get that figured out, you'll probably fall in love with your tablet. You changed out the nib and that made a big difference? I know there's a setting for pressure sensitivity, so you can change the line weight. And there's also, oh, you're using Clip. Okay. Clips, I'm not sure what Clip Studio is, what it's like, but I've got a button up here. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor or not, but there's a button up here that will change the pressure sensitivity of my strokes. Just figured out the back comes off. There are nibs in there. Yeah, there is. Yeah. Yeah. You want to go into the Wacom settings and try to adjust your pressure sensitivity before you try it in Clip Studio. You shouldn't have to fight with the tools. Nothing's worse than fighting with the tools that you're using. And you shouldn't have to fight with them. When it comes to doing art and stuff that we do, especially illustration, you should have a nice, smooth flow. There should be no fighting with your tools. Even with traditional work, if you're working with pen nibs, I had a hard time with my pen nibs. But it wasn't the nibs like with my Crocoil pen, the actual, when you're dipping it in the inkwell. It come to find out it was the paper that was textured, and it was ruining my nibs really fast because it was almost like sandpaper. And that's what I mean by fighting with your tools. I thought it was my nibs the whole time. I thought I had a bunch of duds, but it turns out it was the paper the whole time. They don't really have that problem with digital tablets here, but most of the times it's in the settings. And like I said, it could just be paper makes huge difference. Yeah, it does. Yeah, and there's different paper qualities as well. Paper is measured by pounds. It's measured by pressure, and when you're doing illustration work, when it comes with ink, you want a thick paper, probably about a 90 to 100 pound press is what it's called, and your ink won't bleed through. But it also comes in textured, so you can get a smooth vellum texture, or you can get a textured vellum texture. It all depends on how scratchy you want it. The smoother the paper, the smoother your lines will come across on the page. What was I doing? All right, I'm gonna back up and see how that looks. It looks a little better. There's still something off about it that I don't like, and I can't figure out what it is. Sometimes it helps to back up a bit so you can see what you're doing. You don't have to be zoomed in the entire time. I think what it is maybe this was supposed to go behind, and this should all be filled in. And this should be representing the other side. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. There was something about it before. I'll shut the layer off. Yes. See how it was really blotchy looking? What are some useful shortcut settings for the tablet and stylus? Well, I'll tell you, my stylus has clickable buttons on it. I have I have a bottom clickable button and a top clickable button. The bottom one, I'm not sure if you can see this, but the bottom one, when I click it, it comes up with the hand, and that way I can move around the page without having to use my keyboard or having to come away and click the hand over here in the corner. So that was a setting that I set myself, right? And that alone has saved me a lot of time because I'm just literally moving my pen around the page. So that's a bit of a shortcut for me, and it works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. I'm not sure what Clip Studio shortcut is, but I know with Photoshop, if I want to bring that hand up, all I have to do is hold down on the space bar and it does the same thing. It's a shortcut key on the keyboard. But I've got my pen set up so it's the bottom button. I think what I want to do is maybe put like the steering wheel in here, maybe. I'm not sure exactly how to go about it, but I think what I want to do is maybe just kind of add something in there that looks like a steering wheel. I'm not even sure if that's where the steering wheel is, but it is for now. Your eraser tool, is your Wacom set up that the back of the pen is the eraser? Can it be that easy that you just turn the pen around and use like the eraser end? Some Wacoms do that. I'm not sure about the cheaper ones, but I know the more expensive ones do it. So my shortcut key is the E key for my eraser. I'm not, and again, I'm using Photoshop. I'm not sure what Clip Studio is. It's the E key on the keyboard. You know what? I think that looks better already. It's a lot cleaner than this. I'm curious if I even need that back one though. What if I erase this one here? I think I'm a little too close. What if I erase this one? Decisions. Why is my flow down again? It's weird. There we go. Jesus, glitchy today. Photoshop is known as a resource-heavy program, which means it kind of sucks up a lot of your memory and your processor stuff, and it really bogs down your computer. So when you're live streaming with Photoshop, nice airwork, bro. Well done. Hope you good as me. Yeah, thanks, man. I'll check out your channel here when I'm done. I'm always on the hunt for fellow artists. I think it's important to support each other. Yeah, no, I get it, bud. Yeah, no, I think it's very important to support each other. So anybody that pops into my chats, always check out each other's channels. You never know, you might stumble upon somebody or some artwork or some style that's really, really intriguing. In the last year that I've been on here, I've met so many fantastic people. You use 3D paint? I've never used 3D Paint. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to clean up this bottom line. It's not the cleanest of line. And then I'm going to back up a little bit. You think it was the nib? The nib was giving you grief the whole time? I wonder if it was even in place properly. It might not have even been snug. Everything is nice and smooth now? Perfect. I'm glad it worked out for you. Funny. I'll have to give that a try next time I notice if mine's starting to go glitchy on me. Hey, Kronos, how's it going, bud? As a favor to Comicscape people whom hold Rakita Law in high esteem, the Rakita should drop Tim Pool. To come to light, there's already a severe court. Since 2017. What do you mean, Kronos? What do you mean 2017? I mean, I'm new to all this, but that seems to be like a year sooner than everything's happened. I mean, I've only been following it since 2018. What do you mean 2017? Explain yourself. I should share the link and see if we have any takers. I wasn't even planning on streaming tonight. I'm just enjoying a couple of beer, and everybody kind of went to bed on me, so I'm just enjoying the last of her. And let's see how that looks. All right, I'm gonna go back to. Oh yeah, that's way better. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that. That's a mess. It's much cleaner now. Yeah, Bucklight. I'm just as confused. That's why I was asking, like, explain yourself. And then he left. Which is kind of weird. No explanation. You have insomnia? I do too. Oh, you just happen to be messing around as you get the notification. Well, that's cool because I haven't been on that long, so that means the notification went through right away, which hardly ever happens. don't know why. YouTube is not friendly to its users, I find these days. There's Lorenzo. What's up, Sleestack? YouTube is a pain. Yeah, it really is. Just got notice that they're going to get rid of Hangouts here within the next, I don't know, 6 months to a year. I was under the impression that YouTube was coming out with its own its own style of Hangouts. What they want, they want to distance themselves from Google for some reason. And Google is run, or Hangouts is run by Google. It's called Google Hangouts. And I guess we'll be losing it here shortly. And now I guess they're not going to bother with their own type of Hangouts for some reason. So I guess we're going to be losing a lot of our camaraderie ship here. How long have you been doing digital art for? I've been doing digital art for 5 years, I think, since, I want to say since 2013, give or take. Google is a big corp for real. Google is a big corp for real. Yeah, I wasn't always a digital artist. I do a lot of traditional stuff with pencil and pen and ink, and I've just recently kind of fell into the digital art. I still do pen and ink quite a bit. But the thing about pen and ink is you're stuck with your mistakes. And if I mistakenly do a brush stroke with pen and ink, I kind of have to wait for that to dry and then use a whiteout or a white paint or something to erase it. When I'm working with digital, all I have to do is hit Command Z and it goes away. And I can hit that many times until I get the proper stroke that I want. It's so much faster. But it makes it a lot harder when you're on the convention scene to sell original artwork when you don't have any originals to sell, because everything is done digitally. So that's why I kind of like to keep a mix of traditional and digital. Yeah, sometimes you're working too fast before the ink dries, and you actually smear it down the side of your hand, and then in your next pass, you smear your hand across the page, and it's messy, right? Here, I have a protective glove that protects my screen, and it's super smooth, and I don't have any of the mess. Excuse me. Yeah, no, I do too. I learned with pen and ink, and it's one of those things that will always be part of me. And the digital stuff is still new to me, right? So once I get a little more comfortable with the digital stuff, I may not ever go back to the pen and ink because I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. When you enjoy what you do, that's half the battle. Like I said, that delete function on my keyboard makes things a lot easier. That's not very straight there. It doesn't make a difference, does it? Oh, maybe it does. Maybe I should leave it on. Zoom out. Let's see how that looks. That looks a lot cleaner than what was going on before. I'm going to shut it off. That's what it looked like before. And that's what it looks like now. Yeah, that was awful. Yeah, I'm glad I made that change. So I think what I'll do is I'll fix up some of this stuff. I want to go with a cleaner look. Still learning to draw. You know what? I've been drawing most of my life, and I just turned 40 over the last weekend. I'm still learning, right? All the masters learn every day till the day they die, right? And there's no rush either, so don't hurry yourself. And don't compare yourself to others, right? Everybody learns at their own pace. I've seen some of your drawings, Bethany. You've got nothing to worry about. You're pretty solid. You're well on your way. Bucklight, you're really good at drawing digital? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna check out your channel when I'm done. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it should be at Willie Reed or William L. Reed. I'm not sure which one. Willie Reed. Yeah, friend me on Twitter, and then maybe we can hook up sometime and we can kind of learn from each other if you're interested. Old school cars are the best. Yeah, I know. This one here, I'm working on a story called Fender Bunny, and the car is almost one of the characters, right? Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. If you look at a lot of television and movies, you'll notice that some of the famous cars that are in these shows are just as much of a character as the show themselves. Like, for instance, Back to the Future. Back to the Future wouldn't be the same without the DeLorean. Same with Ghostbusters. It wouldn't be the same with that old ambulance, that Ecto 1. Um, you know, Batman, the old 1966 series, it wouldn't be the same without that old Lincoln Futura, right? The George Barris design. Like I said, the show wouldn't be the same because car the car itself becomes a character, right? Believe it or not. And that's what I was trying to do with my story here. I wanted to convey that classic car with the storyline. This line doesn't make sense, so I'm going to erase it. Sorry, I'm trying to draw and I'm trying to keep up with the chat, and then I'm trying to think at the same time. It's not easy. Lorenzo, hail Ecto 1. Yeah, absolutely. I actually have an Ecto 1 Playmobil car on my bookshelf here beside me. Smokey and the Bandit's another one. Yep. Yep. Yeah. No, the television and film, like the Dukes of Hazzard, wouldn't be the same without the General Lee, right? There's hundreds of movies and television shows that are based around cars, right? I'm not sure if you ever seen Sylvester Stallone's Cobra. Cobra wouldn't have been the same without that old chopped Mercury or whatever he was that he was driving. Right? Think of Star Wars. Star Wars, the whole desert scene with Luke. What was it? The New Hope. With Luke driving around with that little hover car in the desert, right? When he first finds Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, it's a funny little car, but that movie wouldn't have been the same without it. Same with the Millennium Falcon, right? I mean, we're getting out of cars here and getting into spaceships, but it's the same thing. Shut that off. Yeah, that's a lot cleaner. I label it. And I like it. Let's zoom in on the front and see if there's anything we can change. Let's white out this here. I think I can make that a lot cleaner. Yeah, the A-Teens van for sure. Knight Rider with Kit. Oh yeah. No, they're all iconic. They even came out with a Viper television show at one time. I'm not sure if you guys remember that. Magnum PI had his red Ferrari, and then he also had his friend that flew that little helicopter with the mosquito eyeballs or whatever it was. Whatever that little helicopter was, it looked just like a little mosquito. Magnum PI. Yeah, James Bond has some cool vehicles. There was a few other vehicles that were kind of based off of James Bond vehicles where they used to have like machine guns pop out of the headlights and stuff like that. Those are all really cool. it just kind of makes you think that what you could modify your own vehicle to be at some point. Something a lot of guys do when they get a vehicle, not so much a brand new vehicle, but when they get their own vehicle, they like to put in their own new stereo systems, and they like to put in like new rims and stuff like that. They like to modify their cars. How cool would it be to modify your car as like a special agent car or something, right? Hey, Jelly Duck, what's going on, buddy? Jelly Duck 100. I don't know if that's actually right or not. Shut that off. No, that's not right at all. Let's reset. Okay. So it just comes out like that. Is that right? Yeah, pretty close. Close enough for this guy. I'm just cleaning up some artwork. That looks brilliant. Ah, thanks, man. Do you want me to zoom out? Hang on a sec. There you go. This is for a comic book I'm working on called Fender Bunny. That's one of our main characters, Darwin. We haven't decided the name for the car yet, but we were just discussing how iconic some of these cars are in some of the television and film. And when I was trying to pick out the car for him, I needed something that fit the time period, which is about 1950s, 1960s. But I also needed it small enough that a monkey could drive. And that's why I chose the old style Corvette. It was the smallest of its kind. And convertibles are cool. And cherry red is cool. So I think I'm going to make it cherry red. And I wouldn't mind naming the car Cherry something. I think I'd like to use the word cherry in the name. You just follow me on Twitter? Cool. I'll get the notification and I'll follow you back if I'm not following you now. Be sure to check out each other's channels here too, eh? Don't be shy with each other by any means. We're all growing as a community. You never know whose awesome stuff you're going to find unless you. On Facebook, we always call it creeping each other's profiles. But you never know how cool some of this stuff is that you might be missing unless you're creeping each other, right? You might stumble upon somebody really cool. Like myself. I'm cool, just ask me. Call the car Bethany? Yeah, there's an idea. Yeah, totally call the car Bethany. But I was thinking like, I don't know, Cherry Bomb or, I don't know, something cherry red. I like the cherry. Doesn't have to be. It's going to be a red car, I know that. But it doesn't have to be cherry either. You can call it scarlet. Right? That's like a red name. Ginger. Right? Cherry Bethany. Cherry B. Cherry B sounds kind of cool. Right? I can always kind of do some research and see what was popular back in like the 50s and 60s. Right? I think this car is a 50. What did we say it was? 50, 58 or 53? I honestly don't know. I can't remember what we said this was. I think they had the same style for quite a few years, actually, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's zoom out. We'll take a look. That's now, and that was before. Yeah, it's much cleaner now. I had to do some work on the dust. I had to do some research on how dust moves. I'll show you what I had before. Which layer is it? There. That's what I had before. The dust. This is what I've got now. So I'm a lot happier with this dust. Do I wish I owned one? Yeah. Actually, I told my wife if I had a garage, if I had a house with a garage, I would have a classic car in that garage. It's definitely on my bucket list. I'm not sure if I would have this exact car, but I would definitely have something classic or vintage in the garage for sure. Red car with a white panel. Yeah, yeah. And it said fuel injection on the side, but I changed it to Fender Bunny right here. That's the name of the book that I'm working on. I don't know if I'll keep it on there, but I just thought it was kind of a fun little place to put the logo. Burgundy and black paneling. Yeah, I also seen like a baby blue, but that to me that doesn't scream race car, right? It seems it seems to be more of a leisure car, and what I want is fire engine red, screaming demon race car. I want this book to be action packed, and I'm not going to get that with a blue car, I don't think. Yeah, that's what I was saying. If I had a place to store it, yeah, I would definitely have a muscle car or a classic car of some sort. Um, Something with tail fins, I think, always looked cool. Um, Not so much like the '56 Chevy, but along the lines of like what was the Dodge or the Plymouth Fury? I think a friend of mine had one. Instead of having the lines on the back window to defrost the back window or to defog the back window, it actually had a fan behind the back seat that blew hot air up onto the window, and it had a push button start. It was a really neat car, and it had the tail fins. And I'm not sure, but I think the back tail light might have dropped out, and that's where you put the gasoline. And then when you were done filling up the gas in the car, you'd you'd flip the tail light back up and lock it into place. I think it was like a hidden gas tank. I'm really happy with the changes that I've made here. I want to work on that steering wheel a little bit more. And I think what I want to do is something like this to make it look more like a steering wheel. A helicopter? Yeah. Are they the little two-seater helicopters? Is that the one I was talking about in the Magnum PI series? Here, let me just look that up real quick. I'm going to 1986. Might not be. Oh, that's similar. Is that similar to the Airwolf helicopter? Did you ever see the TV series Airwolf? I'm kind of showing my age here, but that was really popular when I was a kid. Airwolf. It's been years since I've seen Airwolf. But I liked those shows growing up as a kid. They were fantastic. And then it was, oops, I made a mistake. And then it was after that. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but Hulk Hogan had a TV series at one time. He had stopped wrestling for a while. He had a TV series where he had a speedboat, and not too many people even remember that show. Only like select friends that I've got that had watched the show with me would ever remember that show. You know what? I'm going to Google the name of that show because it's going to bug me. Um, Speedboat Show. Let me see. Okay, so that Hulk Hogan show that I'm talking about with the speedboat was called Thunder in Paradise. And when you take a look at the boat, it's actually a wicked boat. It's crazy. Thunder in Paradise. No, it wasn't a reality show. It was like one of the Airwolf shows, kind of like MacGyver and stuff. Like he would get set on a mission and he'd take a speedboat and go complete the mission type thing. It was a legit TV series. Check it out. Thunder in Paradise. I just want to take a second look at this. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking with that sloppy mess. Look at that. That's awful. I think I was trying to achieve the chrome look or something, but I can do all that digitally, or I can have a colorist do it digitally. Look how clean that is. Yeah, lesson learned the hard way. I've been learning a lot of lessons lately the hard way. Some of these lines aren't the cleanest. I'm just wondering if my opacity was down the entire time I was doing this. I didn't even think to look. Anima Flex Animations. Hello, welcome. Yeah, and be sure to check out each other's channels. If you're new coming in, definitely check each other out. If you're into art, this is the place because lots of artists kind of fly through here at any given moment. So be sure to check each other out. All right, do I want to fix these rocks now, or what do I want to do? I think I need to add some clouds, actually. Um, what do I want to do for clouds? Let me think. I could. Saying this is going to work, but I could make them similar to the dust. So they're flat on the bottom. They kind of go like that. How's that look? Doesn't look too bad. Still don't know if that's the look I'm going for. I'm going to put them in there anyways because I can always make the changes later. Maybe I should put one behind that boulder right here. Get some depth. I don't know. How does that look? Yeah, thanks, Jelly Ducks. Thanks for stopping by. Stop by anytime, bud. Um, uh, Animeflex. Do you use, what are you using for digital? Are you using Photoshop or anything? I'm just curious what everybody's using these days. I see a lot of people using Clip Studio. But you're doing animations, are you not? I'm not sure if they're even still here or not. Yes, you can do animations in Clip Studio. If you follow Manny at all at Good Dog Press, he does some simple animations, but he does animations with Clip Studio. You use Medibang for digital. Don't have a PC at the moment, but I mostly animate. Really? Medibang. I've never used it. That's pretty interesting. You do everything on your phone. Do you have an iPhone with the what is it, the Apple Pencil? It is a small screen, but you get used to it the more you use it. Yeah, don't knock cell phones. You can film and edit full length feature films on a cell phone. Don't ever knock a cell phone. I'm not sure if you follow The Walking Dead or not. There's scenes where they're walking in the woods and the cameraman looks like they're walking in the woods with you. That's because they're actually filming parts of that episode on an iPhone and they actually are walking through the woods with you. So don't ever knock a cell phone. Android. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't take long. Whatever medium you use, it does not take long to learn by any means. Um, One of the hardest things to learn is inking with brush and pen nibs, like a Croquill nib, because it's actually liquid. It's harder to use. But anything digital, no, by any means. I teach kids how to draw, and if I can teach a child how to draw on black pavement with a white rock and scrape it into the pavement, you should be able to use any medium possible. Yeah, no, it. Yeah, if you're used to it now, yeah. If you can, at some point, upgrade to a tablet. If you can, I highly recommend getting the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, and that Apple Pencil is magical, to say the least. You know what? I like the looks of this cloud right here, though. Let's work on it for a little bit. Let's see what we can do to it. I might keep it. Typically, what I like to do is I like to end all the little endpoints, connect them. Your colorist will thank you in the end if you ever send it to get professionally colored. They really appreciate you connecting these endpoints. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Yeah, definitely check each other's channels out. I'm telling you, you're going to find some really cool people in here. If you're into art, this is the place to be. You never know who's going to stop by. I've got amateurs, I've got professionals. We all meet and get along with each other right here. Of course, it's 3 in the morning here right now, so I'm not sure who's going to be popping on. Night owl tonight. I'm not going to stay on too much longer, but I like the looks of this cloud, let me tell you. See if we can fix these other ones. Okay, let's fix this one. See if I can do it this one. Oops, that's too dark. Still too dark. Why did it do it? Oh, I know. I changed the setting because it was on white earlier. That's a little bit it. So that's going to come down a bit. That. Then I can take the white. Look like it's going behind the rock. Nope, nope, that's not what I wanted. Eraser, I think is what I wanted. Yeah, there we go. John Dillard did your profile picture? Yeah, he's great. Yeah, Dillard Draws. Yeah, if you're not familiar with Dillard Draws channel, go check it out. He's great. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't know if I like the fact that it's got the hollow mark over this little rock. But I do like the way that it looks going behind that mountain. Ooh, Willie. Sometimes I impress myself. Let me erase this one here. If you're having fun doing what you're doing, that makes all the difference in the world. For sure. Doesn't matter what all the naysayers say. If you're having fun, you're having fun. Yeah. Everybody has their own program. I'm using Photoshop right now. People hate Photoshop. Anybody that's using Clip Studio right now, oh man, they can't stand me. But I'll tell you, Photoshop is industry standard. So there is that. But yeah, don't get caught up in what other people are saying about some of these programs. If it works for you, it works for you. It might not work for other people. Some people don't give some of these programs a fighting chance. But I am a graphic designer by trade. That's why I use Photoshop. And I was I wasn't even introduced to Clip Studio. I wasn't introduced to Clip Studio until recently. And I'm not about to purchase another program since I pay a lot for my Photoshop. But it's true. Anybody that's using Clip Studio, they find out you're using Photoshop, woo, you're in for a tongue lash. It's funny how that is. I'm going to fix this black line here. Oh, that's an eraser. Duh. That's too dark. You know what I mean? You can just click that Command Z button. What the heck? Why am I so glitchy tonight? That's probably a good indication. I need to shut this off. And go to bed. Again, I'm not sure if I even like this over here because it's right over this rock. And I'm not sure if that's considered a tangent or not. It looks like a tangent, smells like a tangent. It's probably a tangent. But do you see right here? I'm not sure if you can see my little cursor or not, but it's right over this rock. And I think it looks foolish there. You know what? I think what I'll do is maybe I'll just get rid of it altogether and just make it a cloud. Get rid of it. We'll see how this looks. And I don't want to bring that out too far either. I think I kind of want to end it there. Like that. Yeah, I need to go to bed too. Yeah, daylight comes early. Like I said, it's almost 3:30 here now. Yeah, definitely check out each other's channels for sure. Yeah, I am a graphic designer. I get my diploma in graphic design. Um, it's kind of why I fell in love with comic books. Well, I was always in love with comic books, but when I took graphic design, I fell in love with the printing process. So the graphic design taught me, the importance of your DPI, um, Photoshop, mostly the Adobe Creative Suite, Illustrator. I use a lot for creating logos. Photoshop, I use a lot for photo manipulation, so I can clean up images like photography and stuff like that. I can clean all that up with Photoshop. And then if I wanted to put a book together or a magazine together, I would take that into Adobe InDesign, is what that's called. And just within that little creative suite, just the three programs, the possibilities are endless for, especially for illustration work, because I can do my logo for my book in Illustrator. I can do all my cartooning in Photoshop, and then I can set up all my pages in InDesign and send it off to the printers and print it out. Okay, so DPI, I noticed just with my Photoshop that at 300 DPI, it was still showing up sloppy. So what I did is if I go up here to image, go to image size, I actually doubled it. So my resolution is actually 600 DPI. That's what gives me the crystal clear lines. That doesn't look like it's very straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten this out right here. Uh, wanted it a little more horizontal. Now I'm getting too close. what I think I might do. Select the entire thing. Excuse me. I'll select the entire thing and I'm just going to move it up. Oops. Do that. There we go. Rock. There. I do like the way that it looks going behind that rock. I don't like the way that it looks over here, so I'm going to still play with that a little bit. Graphic designer is a good job. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of interesting people, especially like when it comes to designing stuff for their company, like their business cards, their letterheads, stuff like that. It's really fun. Where I'm an illustrator, I get to design my own Christmas cards. I get to design my own playing cards. I get to I get to create my own comic books. Right? It's a lot of fun. The hardest part is dealing with unruly clients. That's the hardest part. Trying to please other people. Everybody seems to know what they want in their head. You give them what they want, and it turns out they wanted something completely different. And it's hard to please everybody, let me tell you. Live streaming. I think I'm going to want to make a circle here, and then another circle here. And drop that one lower so it goes like that. That looks pretty messy, but I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to see how this looks. You know what? I'm going to switch to the eraser tool. Let's see how that looks. I don't know if I take it. Well, yeah, I take it seriously. I take it seriously if I have to. But, I don't know how serious you can be when you're drawing a space monkey driving a Corvette. Right? But I am serious that I've put a lot of work into that space monkey, coming up with a story, coming up with the car alone. Right? I've had that monkey in my head for quite a while. It's time to get him out. I'm still having fun doing it, right? That's the key. The key to happiness. Have fun what you're doing. But I owe a lot to my wife, actually. I I had stopped drawing for a long, long time. And when my wife and I were started dating, I had just gotten back into drawing, and I had showed her my sketchbook, and she had taken a liking to some of my sketches, and she said, you should think about taking this a little further. So I looked into it, and I ended up going back to school and taking graphic design, and it's been an upward climb ever since. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be in this mess. Let's take a look and see how that looks. It doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna fix it up tomorrow. But I do like the looks of the clouds more than without the clouds. I don't know if those clouds are gonna stay that way or not. I stopped. I was always drawing right up until high school. And then I found I had a lot more friends. I had got my driver's license. I had gotten a job, and life kind of carries you away a little bit. And I had stopped for several years at least. At least. And it wasn't until I think 2007 is when I got back into it. Because I met my wife shortly after that, and I had showed her my sketchbooks. But again, life gets in the way, man. You know, some things you don't plan on, right? I'm married with kids. It's 3 in the morning and I'm live streaming right now. I should be in bed, but I don't have the ability to live stream throughout the day because I am so busy with family stuff, right? So I am taking full advantage of my quiet time right now. I'm gonna fix that top one tomorrow, I think. I don't like where it's going. Unless what if I add another little one to the bottom? Oops. If I add another one right there. That's kind of fun. I like that. Makes all the difference in the world. Funny, eh? Maybe we can do the same here as we did over there. Erase that bottom one. Let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm married, kids. Well, like I said, I'm 40. Right? I'm not a noob by any means. I think that's too thick of a line. With clouds, I want them to be light and fluffy, not thick and bold. They're not thunderclouds by any means. Do you want to fix this line? There's something wrong about that cloud. What is it? I think I have to erase this line. Like so. Yep, that looks a lot better. This one can be cut off as well. You just kind of sharpen the point down a little bit. I want it to look wispy, so I think what I'll do is I'll put some lines through it. All right, let's back up and take a look what we got. Yeah, that looks better. I don't want to put too many clouds in there, but I think I do need one more somewhere just to balance it out. Or I need to drop this one down a tad. What's that look like if I drop that down a bit? It looks a little balanced. I like it, guys. I'm going to save this before my computer crashes. Storm clouds? Yeah, I don't even know if I wanted clouds. I wanted it to be a bright sunny day, but I guess there's clouds in the desert on a bright sunny day. I guess. Then I think what I want to do next is I'm going to fix up some of these stones down here. That's got to go. And that's got to go. We're going to turn them into nice looking pebbles and rocks. Let's see what else needs to be fixed. I don't like the looks of this cactus over here. I'm going to fix that up too sometime tomorrow. All right, I think I'm going to call it quits here for tonight, guys. Yeah, I definitely want to thank you all for stopping by. I'm going to make sure I check out all your channels. I'm going to comment on some of your videos as well, just so we're locked in. I find if you don't comment on the videos after they're posted, sometimes YouTube will unsub you for some reason. It's that's what they call it, staying connected. staying connected means you just basically comment on each other's videos as you watch them. Yeah, thanks, man. You save every 6 seconds. I don't save that often, but my fingers are programmed to hit the save shortcut keys. My hand is automatically resting on the keyboard with the shortcut keys ready to go at an instant. Well, dang, you're right. WTF, Mike? Dang, you're right. You just missed me, Val. But yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow probably sometime. It's late here. I'm not sure where you guys are, but it's close to 4 in the morning. And I am fatigued. All right, guys, I'm going to call it quits. Thank you for stopping by. And we'll catch you all next time.